Tuesdays at WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, where you can get the hottest handicappers' best bet or daily package for only $2.
What is up, guys? Welcome back right here to WagerTalk TV for another episode of Puck Time. I'm Andrew McInnis, joined by Carmine Bianco and Mr. Don Buster. Happy to be back, guys. Looking forward to the show. We have to discuss yesterday's game. Before we do discuss that game, though, I do have to mention it is $2 Tuesday at both WagerTalk and SportsMemo.com. We have Joe Domingo over at Sports Memo. We have Ralph Michaels at WagerTalk.com. Their best bet of the day listed for just $2. Crazy game yesterday. Tampa Bay absolutely rolls over the New York Islanders, putting up 8 goals. I'm going to go to you first, Carmine, your impression of that game. I mean, that was unbelievable. I mean, I feel like it's important to own up to losses. And I'll tell you, I've seen teams win when they don't hit that shot prop. I couldn't have been more off on my shot prop yesterday, because even at a high number like that, there's no way they weren't going to hit that shot prop with the amount of scoring chances they had. So I'm going to try and bounce back on the show best bet today. But, hard to hit a shot prop under on a team when they put up 8 goals.
Yeah, listen, I don't think anybody expected what we saw yesterday. And maybe it's an anomaly as far as this series goes, but it's the first couple of goals. You know what I mean? A shot that gets hits someone, gets deflected over to Stamkos. He's got pretty much an open net, puts it in. Another one that goes off the D and between the goalie's pads goes in. And before you know it, the Islanders are down 2-0. That's not the position you want to be in with that team when you're playing Tampa on the road. The Isles could never get going with the game plan that they had or they were looking to have in place. You're down 2-0. It just changes everything, and it just sort of ballooned from there. And then the power plays. When you're down, you take stupid penalties, and they took some dumb penalties, and they made them pay with power plays, which I'm kind of happy about, because Victor Hedman did get a point for me on the show best bet at plus 150. So I was pretty happy about that one. And I think our producer is pretty happy because he loves those power play prop bets. But putting up 8, it's funny because there is a stat that John Ryan, and we're going to put it up on the screen from the WagerTalk Sports Memo family. These are playoff games in which a team has scored 8 goals in a game and what they've done in the following game. And you'll see one of the series ended, but it's happened 10 times. And in the 8 previous times that there was a game to follow, the team scoring 8 goals have won 7 of the 8 games, and the total has stayed under 5 of the 8 games. So we'll see as they head back to New York for Game 6 whether this applies. Whether, if you're just basing your sort of your Game 6 play on these numbers, you would probably be looking at a Tampa Bay win and under the total is going to be 5 again. Don't let this 8-goal game make you think that we're going to see any total at 5.5 or 6 in this game. It's just not going to happen. It's going to go back to 5. But let's bring in Don Buster. Let's get his thoughts on this game.
Thank you, Carmine. I appreciate that. Good to be with you guys again today on my usual Tuesday. Yeah, you know what, Carmine? You said it right perfectly. They got a couple good bounces. They get up 2-0, and even that third goal. And then if you guys remember when it was 3-0, and the Islanders, I don't know how that puck didn't go in to make it 3-1. But it looked like there was literally a wall on that net, and they couldn't make it 3-1. And then they started taking a whole bunch of stupid penalties, and you know what? That's it. The game's over. Let's fight another day. And those are pretty interesting stats that you had there, Carmine, from John Ryan. He's over at Sports Memo. He does a great job. I think he's trying to be the great Ralph Michaels stat daddy of Sports Memo, and he's doing a very good job of that. He puts out a show every day with a bunch of stats, so you should check that out too. As far as that, all that does when I see 7-1 the next game after 8 goals, it might bring my Islanders bet down a little bit. I still like the Islanders to push this game to Game 7. And just like it is in this series that we'll be talking about, I think both series are going to be going to 7 games. So it was a bad night for the Islanders last night. Those things happen in NHL playoffs. You'll see a better performance in front of 14,500 fans in Nassau Coliseum tomorrow night.
And of course, we'll be touching on that game tomorrow. But what you said there, Carm, I agree with the fact that, or what the numbers say at least, looking towards an under in the next game, potentially even the first period under. I'll remind everybody out there how successful overs have been in elimination games, or at least the third period overs. I'd like to take that third period out of the picture. As you guys know, there's actually been games where I've cashed a first period under and a third period over just simply off getting that empty net goal. So I'll be looking at taking a first period under potentially, but we'll talk about that tomorrow. But, I'm going to stick to my guns, guys, and say that although it's a statement game, you don't get extra points in the standings, or you didn't get an extra win in the series for putting up 8 goals. They actually only won 1 game in that series last night, despite the scoreboard results. So, it's just 1 game, but Tampa Bay definitely sent a message, and I'll be curious to see what happens with Matthew Barzal after the hit that he made, even though we've seen a hit like that probably 30 times in the next series we're about to talk about. Let's jump into it. Let's jump into the Canadiens and the Vegas Golden Knights series. Great series so far, very competitive. The last several games between these two teams have been decided by just 1 goal. Canadiens plus 200, Golden Knights minus 250 here. The plus 1.5 for the Canadiens is minus 145, which if you've been betting that, you've been making some serious money. Minus 1.5 backers in this series have not been too successful. Total sits at 5 here. And I got to say, guys, throughout the year, I didn't have too many money line side wagers in games that involved the Montreal Canadiens. However, I did have quite a few total wagers that they were involved in. And a lot of them were first period totals, under, of course. But I am disappointed in myself for not playing the under in the full game with this team throughout the playoffs enough, because the recipe for them would definitely have been, low scoring games. I mean, when they're even giving Carey Price 2 goals in the playoffs, they're having success. But I believe the number has now moved to 21 straight wins for the Canadiens in the playoffs under Carey Price when they give him 3 goals. Obviously, that dates back to several years, but that is an unbelievable stat. This year, even giving him 2 goals has proven to be a very, very strong number for them. The Golden Knights, though, Carmine, they continue to get some support from their blue line. Blue line stepping in, and I believe that, like I said, it's one thing the Jets and the Leafs didn't really have to offer. This Golden Knights team does have to offer. When their forwards are getting shut down, we're seeing the blue liners come in from the Vegas Golden Knights and make an impact for them. What are your thoughts here as the game returns to Sin City?
Yeah, I think the first issue, or the first thing we're going to have to talk about, is who is in goal for the Vegas Golden Knights. Nobody has been named. Peter DeBoer has not named his goalie as of yet. Any of the sites you look at right now show that it is actually Marc-Andre Fleury as the expected goalie. Any of the sports programs, the NHL programs you see, they're talking about that. Fleury had the game. They gave him the game off, arrested him, and bring him back. I just don't know. I'll be honest with you. I have no idea. Do you ride the goalie who got you the win in Game 4 to even this series, or do you go back to the guy who got you to where you are right now, with some stellar play in the first round and second round? So that's the question. And maybe by the time we're closing off this show in 20 minutes or so, we'll have an answer to that. But right now, I don't know. This is a game where the pressure is clearly on the Vegas Golden Knights. It clearly is on the Vegas Golden Knights. They do not want to lose Game 5 at home and have to go back to Montreal facing elimination to head back here again. Let's put it. It's simple. It's the same pressure maybe that the Tampa Bay Lightning faced last night, and they came through in spades. So we'll see with this Vegas team. They need to build off that win. They just can't keep falling behind to this Montreal team, because here's the problem is Montreal played extremely well in Game 4 and could have won that game. If the Canadiens get the lead again, they could very well suffocate this Vegas Golden Knights team. With that said, Andrew, I'm leaning to the Golden Knights. A little bit of me from the sort of the hockey brain in me, and a little bit from the hockey heart in me, Andrew. And I'm a little
I'm not
selfish.
surprised. I'm not
A little selfish
surprised.
in that. And the only reason for you guys, the only reason is I'm going to be in Vegas. If the Golden Knights are in the Stanley Cup, Marco D'Angelo or Brian Leonard, one of them is going to take me to a game. So I want to make it to a Stanley Cup game before the Leafs do. So it would be great to see a game. But with that said, I am leaning to the Vegas Golden Knights. I think this is such a big game for them, and they seem to show up for every big game, or at least they have. It's not an elimination game. Those are the ones they seem to. Those are the ones where they seem to struggle a little bit in. So if they win tonight, that Game 6 in Montreal could be a play on the Canadiens, just because of the fact that in the elimination games they have struggled over the last couple of years. But I'm leaning to the Golden Knights here.
Well, I don't think you're the only one that wants you to go to the Vegas game, Carmine. I think Chris Lee and Gary Bettman might want you to go to a game too. We're not going to get into it though. I don't want to get into it.
Don't do that, Andrew.
So
don't do that. No.
I'm just joking. I'm just joking. We'll throw it to you, Buster, for your thoughts. Like I said, a lot of these games been decided by one goal. Do you expect the same thing here as it goes to Vegas? And also, what have your thoughts been on the defensive goals here for the Vegas Golden Knights? They've done a great job stepping into the play.
Okay, like usual, Andrew, you asked me about 3 or 4 questions, and I could probably recount maybe 1 or 2 of them. But first things first, I would like to say I don't think Carmine has much of a chance of getting to those tickets, because I'm pretty sure Marco and Brian's wives will be using those seats, and you guys will be watching it down maybe at the Stadium Swim or something like that. So unless you go get your own tickets, I think those wives will be taking over when it comes to if. And I'm going to use it's an if Vegas gets it to into the Stanley Cup final. As a Montreal fan, Andrew, and everybody out there that's watching that's a Montreal fan, we're playing on house money, guys. I've said this after they beat Toronto, after they beat Winnipeg, and of course Carmine's going to go with Vegas because he's Toronto in 5, Winnipeg in 3, Vegas in 5, I believe he said, for this series. So, and I get it, because Vegas is, by talent-wise on paper, they're the better team. What Montreal is they have heart, and they have grit, and they have Carey Price. And I said here last week, and I got a few comments saying like, yeah, you're crazy. Price can't play much better. If he would have saved that goal, you know what I mean? He needs to, and I said to Mrs. Buster going into that third period, I said, he needs to shut them out. I don't see Montreal scoring another goal. He needs to shut them out tonight for us to go up 3-1. Didn't happen. Carey needs to shut them out one of these games. I really believe it's going to be tough to win another game in Vegas for Montreal, but if they can get on top of them, if they can do what they have done, and I'm expecting Montreal to have a good first period again tonight, because Vegas, for some reason, they're just notorious slow starters. Even the first 2 games in Vegas, although Vegas won the one game 1-0, Montreal dominated both first periods of the first 2 games in Vegas, and they basically dominated the first period in all 4 games. So that has to happen again. If Vegas dominates that first period and gets that first goal, there might be some trouble for Montreal tonight. But as I said, like the other series that you guys will be talking about tomorrow, I really believe this series goes 7. Whatever happens tonight, I think they split these 2 games, and we're going to have a game 7 in Vegas. Again, Montreal fans, we're playing on house money. I would love to see them go to the Stanley Cup. In my case, if they play Tampa, I'll be going to a game in Tampa Bay. Mrs. Buster doesn't know that yet, but that would be my game plan. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to this game. It's been a great series. I'm really glad as a Montreal fan for, I don't know, since I was 3 years old. I'm really glad that they showed up, played like I thought they could play. And yeah, very happy way things go, win or lose. Very happy.
What I think is really important in this series is the playoff percentage. Just real quick, Carm. In Montreal, the last game they played, we saw Vegas win the faceoff battle 56-44. And when we were over in Vegas, we saw Montreal win the faceoff battle in Las Vegas, which you should always think it'd be the other way around. Because like I say, the faceoff rules change when you're at home. The last change is different. You get to get your best faceoff guy out there in key situations. So the faceoff battle is absolutely huge tonight. But look, I'm still sitting here and I look at this Canadiens team, and call me a fan or not, but I see that the Vegas Golden Knights have had 2 forwards score a goal in this series. There have been 2 forwards find the back of the net in this series, and none of those guys, are Pacioretty or March. I mean, these guys it's what they do. It's what they're supposed to do and show up. Because I'll tell you, if we get another overtime tonight, I'm not banking on, Watt to score a goal or Pietrangelo to score a goal. If I'm a Vegas fan or a Vegas bettor, I'm hoping that Mark Stone scores it. And right now, he hasn't shown up for his team. And what I've liked from the Montreal Canadiens, what we've seen all season long from them, is that they literally don't have a top line. They don't. They have a top defensive line as far as forwards go, but we're seeing Paul Byron score one night. Then we'll see Nick Suzuki score the next night. Then Corey Perry scores the next night. It's very sporadic with their scoring, which I think really benefits them as far as depth goes and as far as surprising the opponent. So it's going to be hard to keep containing guys like Mark Stone and Pacioretty, but if they do that, I feel like they won't lack any confidence and they'll be very successful. But having said that, Carm, what were your thoughts that you were about to mention there?
Well, I was just going to do a little fact checking when Buster was talking there. So I got the red pen out to fact check Buster. He said that I likely wouldn't get out to a game. Marco did message me and did say that when I come out, if the Golden Knights are in the Stanley Cup Finals, that he would get me to a game. So I'm sure that his beautiful wife will go see the first game, and I'll likely go see the second game. But we'll see how that shakes out. And then Buster did say, what he doesn't think Montreal can win another game in Vegas. He should have stopped there, because then he said, but if they do win, you're so good until you added the but if part of it. I love poking fun at you guys because, yes, you are Montreal Canadian fans, and maybe you do have a touch of the little Homer stuff in you, but you are giving your unbiased opinions on the games as well.
See, Carm,
too. So I just wanted to add that.
Carm, the funny thing is, people have been saying that for 3 rounds now. So
which part?
Will I never get any credit for being right, or am I just?
No, I'm giving you.
That's what I think.
I'm giving you credit. I'm giving you credit. Yeah. Whatever you discuss on Twitter opinions are your own and not part of anything else. So I expect you to wear your heart on your sleeve as far as your team goes. You're supposed to do that as a fan of the team. Some of the stuff you see on Twitter or on social media, and this has nothing to do with you, but just some of the stuff that trends after the games where, and I talked about it on Sports Grid last night, is, the refs are against us and Bettman wants the Vegas Golden Knights in the finals. That's all a bunch of crap. It's not true. He does not control what happens within a game. What I can tell you is the officiating in the NHL playoffs and in the regular season has been absolutely horrible and horrid unless the NHL does something. And this is where, when they have those league meetings in Florida, you need to change it. You need to get some young guys in there. What you're seeing on the ice as far as officiating is absolutely brutal, and it's ruining the game. So I will say that.
I will say this though, Carm. I know a lot of people that officiate. I know some people that have actually officiated like junior hockey and minor professional hockey, and a lot of people are blaming the referees that are on the ice. But what a lot of people don't realize is that when the referees go into the intermission, just like the players have a coach to talk to, the referees also have somebody they're talking to, or they talk to each other. And there's a referee coach or referee scout up in the press box watching them. So before each game, they get directions from that guy to let them know how to call the game or what to look out for. And so what my biggest problem with this series, and you can talk to anybody that's, does videos or podcasting or anything like that, or it watches the games even, would tell you that You just need to set a standard, right? You have to make it very clear that game what the standard is. You can't let a bunch of cross checks and punches to the head goes. And I don't mean this from just the Canadiens. Joel Edmondson cross checked somebody into the boards. It's not just them. But then you can't call the lightest, hooking call I've ever seen in my life on Suzuki, because then you're telling yourself the standard is very inconsistent. And how do the players know what that line is?
Well, Andrew, this is why you need a grading system. If they do not have one already, you need a grading system with the referees. Let's face it. And I have nothing against unions, but having unions and players unions and referee unions it ruins the game when there is no accountability. You see it all the time when you think a player should get suspended and he gets a $5,000 fine, which is the max allowable. It's nothing. That money is nothing to them until they start serving games and they lose salary for that game. Will they change it? We see it in the NFL. NFL has a grading system. Their best referees are the ones that are in the playoffs or that are in the Super Bowl. They're supposed to be the best ones. There is no accountability for these referees. If they're judged on the merits of what they're calling or missing within games, maybe they get better, but there is none because they're protected. If the league wants to do something about it and you have to go through the referees union, all of a sudden these guys are protected. Until that changes, this is going to continue. It's just going to be a rinse and repeat. We see it all the time in other sports. Until it changes, it's not going to change.
Let me go to both of you, but I'll start with you, Buster. Do you see this
Can I just have a quick comment?
Yeah,
Andrew, can I just have a quick comment on what Carmine said, what you said, just very quickly? And I just wanted to touch on one other point about tonight's game. One, I really believe one day, because this is a history with this guy. This Chris Lee, you talk about the officiating, we said we weren't going to get into it. But one day you'll see him be the Tim Donaghy of NBA. I'm just putting that out there. You will see that. This guy has a history of just being brutal with Montreal. Just putting that out there. Watch what happens 4 or 5 years ago when they catch up with this. Anyways, I don't want to get into this. Okay. And also, I just want to make a point. It's never good to have a goaltending controversy for Vegas, because there's going to be guys in there that want Fleury to play, like guys in the locker room, thinking everybody has an opinion. These guys they all have an opinion. They're not going to say it. You're not going to know about it, but they all have an opinion. And some of the guys are Team Fleury, and some of the guys are Team Lehner. And to me, that doesn't help. And I'm hoping, and you saw what happened, because Lehner didn't play. Montreal dominated Game 4 and got unlucky. Right? That's just what happened. They lost the game, but they dominated that game. They play like that. The next 3 games or 2 games, Montreal win the series. So, but we know Vegas is way better than that. But that's all I'm saying. A goaltender controversy could help us Montreal Canadian fans. Back to you, Andrew.
That's a great point. That's actually, I've never thought of it like that, Buster. That's a really good point about the divide, between the players and their opinions. And obviously they don't get to express their opinions, but it's a great point to mention that. I'm sure in their heads, they have an idea who they want to be out there. And, I was talking to a few people about Marc-Andre Fleury going back to Quebec, obviously being a Quebec native, and would he make a mistake? I swear to you, I know a few people that actually called something happening like what happened to him. And people weren't really shocked to see him not dress for the next game after that. But that's the beauty, though, of having 2 solid goaltenders, that there wasn't much hesitancy. There wasn't much of a worry for them. They put in Robin Lehner, and obviously he came out on top. I was tweeting about this. I saw Dave Koken talking about it last night on Twitter. I like Fleury, but I'm the kind of guy that you just ride the hot hand with. I think at all levels of sports, I've witnessed it, where you've seen a player come in for a couple minutes and all of a sudden he gets hot. You're not going to take him out of the game, no matter what sport you're playing in. So a lot of people are going to argue the fact that Fleury's, been there all this whole time, having one of his best years of his career, playing great, flashbacks potentially. But how do you sit the guy that won you the game? How do you sit the guy that only allowed 1 goal? It's hard to do that. I think it's hard to do that, and hard to sit somebody that just won you a game. I wanted to ask you guys though real quick, as we've seen such low scoring games, do you see an under again, Carm?
Yeah, I think some people look at yesterday's result and they look at it. Oh, game 5 at home, the team that was favored to win the series came out and blew them out. Vegas is going to do the exact same thing. They very well could do it, and we'll see it in my show best bet. But the totals of 5, I talked about it yesterday. 8 games prior to last night, and only 1 had gone over the total of 5. 4 pushes, 3 unders. We'll see tonight. I actually think, as far as goaltending goes, I think we're going to see Fleury in net. That's just my guess. Peter DeBoers, if nothing else, has been pushing the right buttons in this playoff season thus far to get through these 2 rounds, and I think he'll make the right decision here. It'll be. I think we're going to see Fleury in net tonight.
Buster, you on the same page? You think the under's the play again?
I don't have a real 5 is a perfect number for this game. Shouldn't even be betting this total in this game today. It'll probably be a dead under in Montreal in Game 6 tonight. It wouldn't shock me if and I'm gonna go out on the limb and say I think Leonard's gonna play tonight for Vegas. I'm of the belief of you, Andrew, that you ride the hot hand and. It could be problematic. He had a great game last game. We'll see what happens here. But I wouldn't touch this total at all. Enjoy the game, and I know Carmine has a show play, which I think I'm going to be against. But it's going to be a close game tonight. And again, if of course if Montreal falls behind, it could get nasty, and you might see another 5-2 game or a big scoring game for the big favorite. But again, we're playing on house money here. We've got the best goaltender in the world, so lots of good things can happen for us Montreal Canadian fans.
I tend to agree that this game, if there was going to be one out of the next 3 potential games, I think this one could be the one that opens up. But we have seen rock solid defense from both ends and a lot of neutral zone time from both teams. So that's kind of, it's kind of a mixed opinion for me. I think we could see it over. Like Buster said, the perfect number is there. But if we see the same effort out of even both teams, because let's not just give credit to Montreal defensively. The Vegas Golden Knights are playing well defensively as well and not giving the Canadiens much in the offensive zone, which will definitely helps towards under or over.
Yeah,
under.
Listen, Buster, I love you, man. I'm not egging on you or anything, or picking on you or whatever you want to call it. You have to lose the term. No, you have to lose the term. We're playing with house money. The only people playing with house money are bettors who have been taking Montreal. The team is not playing on house money. They're 2 games away from making it to a Stanley Cup final.
As fans are playing on house money.
Even as fans, you must want more from your team. You can't go into the offseason saying, hey, guys, at least we made it to Game 6 before getting eliminated. No,
I'm not saying that, Carmine.
I've seen way too much stuff on Twitter recently. I've seen way too much stuff on Twitter recently. Other people telling other people how to be a fan of their team. Let me know when the PowerPoint is out. I'll check my email. I'll study for the exam on how I can be a fan for my team, how Buster can be a fan for his team, and I'll review my notes.
Are you saying that at this point right now, you don't care if Montreal gets eliminated from the playoffs because they made it?
Absolutely not. Of course not. I gotta have my money Buster's back, though.
No one's well, we don't care.
Come on, boys.
Just
I know what you mean, Carm. I know what you mean.
Even Gallagher said all the pressure's on Vegas. All the pressure's on Vegas. He said it. He didn't say we're playing them on house money, but that's just a term I use all the time.
Man,
you must have some. Gallagher said it himself. He says, you know what?
You've got some sunstroke happening down there.
We're not supposed to be here, right? So that's all, Carmine.
Wear a hat. You're getting too much sun down there in Mexico.
Canadiens have to win 1 game at home and 1 game on the road in order to win this series, potentially anyway. unless they win tonight. But let's get it done, guys. Best of luck tonight with your tickets, no matter where you go. I have a prop wager I'm looking at for my best bet, which I'll keep that for the end. But I'm going to go to Buster to let us know what he has up for grabs for his customer plays, and we'll get a best bet out of him.
Thank you, Andrew. And thank you for having my back. I know Carmine always likes to poke fun, but that's all good. This is what it's here. I'm always usually playing the devil's advocate anyway. So, but the thing is, I really don't like getting into it with Carmine, because we all saw what happened 2 weeks ago when I started giving him a little rant about his prediction of the Montreal Canadiens, and he shut down YouTube. That's how powerful Carmine Bianco is. He shut down YouTube for 10, 15 minutes. So I try not to argue with Mr. Bianco too often. For me, go over to Sports Memo. I've got a 5% NBA release for tonight's game. Have it up there for $9. Had it up there for $9 yesterday, and we kept the price at $9. NBA playoffs are at 69%. Having a great NBA playoffs. Really like this play tonight. Head on over there. $9 you can get the play for. For me, for our show best bet, it might be our last show I'm not too sure if next Tuesday, when the Stanley Cup gets going, if they're playing Tuesdays, it's going to be Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Hopefully it's Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and it won't be my last show. But if it is, might as well do a first period line. So I'm going with, of course, my beloved Habs first period money line plus 175. They have outplayed Vegas in all 4 first periods. I understand the momentum is with Vegas after the big overtime win, but Montreal knows they fall behind, they lose tonight. So look for a huge effort from them to come out, and maybe Leonard gets a start and we get a fluky little goal for a 1-0 first period lead. And by the way,
important to mention as well.
Good luck.
Sorry, Buster.
Good luck with all your plays, guys, tonight. There's some good games going on there with the NBA and the NHL tonight.
Thanks a lot, Buster, and best of luck to you on your 5% play. Make sure you guys go and check that out over at Buster's handicapper page. And one thing that's also been successful as well, Buster, is that plus a half goal. Obviously, you're eating more juice, but even if they end tied, if you bet that plus a half, they also come out on top, or you cash your winning ticket there. Carm, what's going on for you, man? You've been on WagerTalk today. You're going on today again, I believe. Euro Cup is starting to get out of the round robin group stages. What's up for you today?
Yeah, 3 plays up in the Euros. The game, that card goes at 3:00 today. 5% play loaded for tomorrow. So you can get that play over at WagerTalk.com, or you can use a coupon code KO60 and get all $60 off the complete tournament package. Get every single play right through to the finals, along with the Copa America, which is going on in Brazil as well too. I'll include that tournament as part of that package for free. As far as the show best bet, we hit the one yesterday with Victor Hedman plus 150 to get a point on the power play. I am going to go with the Vegas Golden Knights on the puck line. Yes, I'm taking the puck line. I don't think I've done that yet in the playoffs as a show best bet. Plus 125, because this is what's written in the Montreal dressing room. They are playing with house money. So they're probably going to not even show up tonight. Let's go with a 4-1 or 5-1 Golden Knights victory against a team playing on house money.
Damn, Carm. I don't know if we've been watching the same periods. 4-1 or 5-1.
Nothing wrong with playing with house money. Lots of times I've been playing with house money at that blackjack table and turned 2,000 into 5. So nothing wrong with playing with house money, my friend.
There we go. I'm going to go, guys, for my best bet here is with Nick Suzuki, minus 110 to get a point in the game. Assist, goal, primary assist, second assist. I've been saying for a while that these props for Canadian players are tough to come by because they are such a scattered team and a deep team. You never really know which line's going to have a good night, which line will score for them. But I think that it's time for this line to get back and get active once again. Looking at Nick Suzuki over a half point at minus 110. He's a great scorer, but he's also a great passer. He has Toffoli and Caulfield on his line, and I trust him to get the job done. I'm going to have 2 plays up in baseball posted to wagertalk.com, looking at an action in the NBA as well. And I have one Euro soccer play in action for this afternoon. On behalf of all these guys, thank you guys so much for watching. We do appreciate it. As much as you guys are probably really excited for me to be done talking about the Habs, they're still involved, and I still appreciate all of you guys watching and commenting. Carmine has the Golden Knights -1.5 plus 125. I have Nick Suzuki to score a point at -110, and Don Buster with the Canadiens first period money line plus 175. On behalf of Carmine, Buster, I'm Andrew, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
With the WagerTalk one-day Power Pass, you receive every play from every betting consultant for one day at the ridiculously discounted price of just $1.99. What's better than one day of great games? Watching, following, and winning those games. Get your sportsbook edge with the entire WagerTalk team of handicappers with this one-day Power Pass, every WagerTalk expert in every game they release for just one day. Your WagerTalk one-day Power Pass is right here, and it's yours for just $1.99.